Thank you very much. Amazing intro, and good morning, everyone. I'm a happy guy. I'm normally smiling. And my friends say, well, I'm probably pretty lucky, or I'm just born that way, which is true because I am a lucky guy. But there's more to it. I've been really interested in the reasons and the source behind my own happiness for many years. And that's why I'm here today to talk to you guys about what I've found out. I'm here to talk to you guys about creativity. Now, I've been a creative my whole life, music and software and writing, and through all of that time, I've seen that there's a pattern, a simple pattern, which is this. When I create, I'm happy. When I stop creating and I start consuming, I'm not happy. And if you think about it, creating and consuming, they're two sides of the same coin. But our world today is mostly about consumption. It wasn't always like that. When the world was more local, these things were more in balance. You consumed what someone created around you. So if you wanted to, eat a great meal, someone had to cook a great meal for you. Or if you wanted to listen to great music, someone close to you had to play great music. But things have changed, obviously. Industrialization, globalization, digitalization, things are very different now. So one person can create, and now we can have millions or even billions of people can consume exactly the same creative product. So we're all consumers now. And it's, of course, driven by technology, whether it's YouTube or Spotify or, even TED videos, actually, where most of the time we're consuming. So I was thinking about all of this, and at the same time, I was watching my own kids grow up, and it struck me that the kids are creative, naturally creative. For its own sake, they're always playing, coming up with a project. There's no KPIs for them, no business plan. They're just doing it. And they're happy because it's a natural expression for them, a natural expression of who they are. And, actually, in a lot of ways, that sort of flow is a definition of happiness. So I was watching them and I was thinking, the kids are all right, actually. So what happens to us as we grow up? So to investigate this, I did what I do best. I started talking to everyone I know, and I started talking to them about creativity. And I kept getting the same response back. This is the response I got. Creativity is great, said everyone, but I am not creative. Again and again, that's what I heard. And this is a myth. This is a fallacy. This is what you might call the myth of the creative as special. The idea that Steve Jobs is creative and you are not. And nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is, you're not Steve Jobs, but Steve Jobs isn't you either. But this fallacy, it's so deeply embedded in our culture, we don't even think about it. And what it's doing is, it's blocking our natural creativity as adults, that creativity that we had as kids. So as a next step, I started thinking, well, how would you unblock that creativity? Just so happened at that time, I met a good friend of mine who's now my collaborator, a guy called Mars Coiro. And we started by doing a lot of reading. So we read everything we could about creativity. Cognitive science, psychology, social science, all this great theoretical work that's out there. But after reading it all, we decided we'd take a different approach. We wanted to take a really practical, experimental, almost anthropological approach to creativity. So what we did is we looked at our own lives and all the places we knew around us, and we looked at where does creativity happen, whether it's the lab or a jam session, or it's startups or businesses, universities. And we asked ourselves a question: what's the common factor across all of those environments? And this is what we found. Two things: a sense of play, combined with a sense of purpose. So play meaning the freedom to just do something for its own sake without the pressure of work. But a sense of purpose as well, some kind of outcome or link back to reality, back to the real world, and back to what's good for other people. When you put these two things together, magic happens. Creativity just happens. So that was our hypothesis, and what we wanted to do next was to test this. So to test it, we created our own game, and it's a creativity game. It's very simple, it brings people together to work on a problem, come up with solutions. There's investing and voting, and it's a bit like a casino meets a hackathon. It's fun to play, and anyone can play it. And we started bringing people in to play the game. So for 1 year now, we've been running this game. We've had hundreds and hundreds of people come through, and we've been observing, and we've been interviewing, and we've been collecting the data. And the results are actually amazing. First of all, in all of that time, in all of those hundreds of people, there has not been a single failure of creativity. Every single human being who comes through into this environment is capable of coming up with creative ideas. It doesn't matter what you think about your creative capability, you will surprise yourself. If the conditions are right, you are creative. And secondly, every objective and subjective measure shows that people are happier. At the end of the game, people are smiling. And that's what it's all about. That's why creativity is not optional. It's not a nice to have. It's not a luxury that you indulge in and add on to your life once everything else has been sorted out. It's quite the opposite. It's exactly what you're supposed to be doing right now. And to do it, all you need to do is bring a little bit of play meets purpose into your life. Any small way. It could be picking up a guitar and writing a song. It could be cooking a meal for your family, doing a sketch, putting it on the wall, writing computer code, whatever it is that turns you on. If you go out and do it and move that needle a little bit away from consumption back towards creativity, you're going to be happy. Keep creating, keep smiling, everyone. Thank you very much.